Hello there, Virgo. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the week of April the 18th through the 24th. We are going to start with Saturday and work our way through until Friday. I like to keep the weekend together. We're pulling one card for each day. We're going to see what the highlight is of each day and see if there's some kind of flow or theme that shows up for the week. Sometimes there is one, sometimes there isn't. So we'll just see. While I'm shuffling, let me remind everybody that this is a collective reading for all of the Virgos. So not everything is going to happen for all of you who watch this video, but most of it is going to happen for most of you. That's kind of the rule of thumb on these collectives. So let's get our cards down, Virgo. La da da. Those of you who want a private reading, where I look at just your energy only, all my contact information is at the website right there at the top of my head. The best way to schedule one of those is to get a hold of me at that phone number or at that email. Now, let's look at your weekend, Virgo. Starting off with the 10 of Swords on Saturday, followed by the Hermit on Sunday. So, 10 of Swords. The thought that I actually had go through my mind is, doesn't this look restful? Doesn't it look peaceful? And I know that whenever you look at it, it kind of looks like maybe it's somebody else set up in a casket, but that's not the impression that hit me right at the first part. I'm happy to tell you. It's very rare that I actually predicted death anyway, but the Ten of Swords talks about bringing to an end something that has been a long-term source of conflict or tension or debate. And so I think that's where I'm getting like this restful vibe off of this card, is the idea that, the debate is no longer on. I don't have to put my energy into this tension or this debate anymore. We have brought an end to that. We've come to a point of acceptance. This could very well be a situation of we just have to agree to disagree, or coming to an acceptance of no matter what I try to do to change this person, they're not going to change. So I have to figure out what I want to do about my part in this situation. And that's just, it's relief once you get to that point where you're not trying to change somebody all the time. There's so much relief there. So anyway, could be any of those things. Let's look at Sunday. It's going to be, it's going to be a different thing for each of you on Saturday. So I'm just trying to go through some ways that that could play out, but not every single way is going to play out for any one of you. Now, looking at Sunday, we have that Hermit card. Isn't it ironic? Check it out. It almost looks like he's holding the Bible. I'm going off by myself. I want to meditate. I want everybody to leave me alone so I can hear myself think. That's kind of what this card says to me. Don't get too close to me. I'm trying to meditate. Y'all are messing with my mojo. That's what this card says. So on Sunday, I do think you're spending some alone time, and I do think that you're thinking some things over. You're looking at, where are you right now? Where do you want to be? How can you get from point A to point B? That type of thing. So you're sort of reorganizing your priorities and your goals in this alone time on Sunday. Looking at the week, we're going to run through these cards really quick, and then we're going to come back and talk about them. The first one that you have on Monday, 8 of Wands. I like it. I like it. Oh, look at this. Tuesday is the 9 of Wands. Immediate progression. After that, we have the Hierophant. This Hierophant looks a little bit, it looks a little bit weary, doesn't he? He's kind of tired in this deck. Yeah, we're going to talk about that whenever we get back over to Wednesday. Let's look at Thursday. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. I've had this deck a while, but it still always strikes me with something new because it's very different from the decks I typically work with. It's of European origin, and there's just a very blatantly different perspective there. Friday we have the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so Monday, Eight of Wands. This is a lot of short communication back and forth. This could be short communication with a group, so in a group text or group messaging, but a lot of short messages back and forth, enough that it may even be hard to kind of keep up with everything that's going on and stay up to date to the minute. This can also be lots of, like if you're in a situation where you deal with orders coming in, this can be a lot of orders coming in on Monday. That's short communication when they send in the order and you send out the confirmation, we've got your order, that type of thing. But it also can be communication between family, between friends, between colleagues, but a lot of little short messages coming in and short bursts of messages coming in. Now, Tuesday, we have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is getting ready for something, making some preparations. And this can be anything from getting ready for a trip to getting ready to make a presentation at work to getting ready to unveil your latest piece of artwork at the museum. I mean, just getting ready is basically the meaning of this card. So there's something you're getting ready for on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have our tired Hierophant. Look at that guy. He's not even standing up straight. All the weight of all the responsibility he's carrying is bending him over. I don't think I really like this Hierophant in this deck because he looks like he's just about to kick the bucket. He's like, man, I'm so tired of trying to advise these people. They're not listening anyway. What is the point? That's what he looks like to me. He looks like he's got all this wisdom. He's trying to share it. He's praying for everybody, but man, people just aren't getting it. And he's starting to feel like the Lone Ranger because he's the one that's in charge. You know, he's the moral authority of the world, basically. At least as far as the Catholic Church is concerned. But a lot of people, I think, look up to him as a moral authority. And so I think what's going on here is there's some situation where you're the person that has the experience, you're the person that has the information. If people would take the information that you have to offer and listen to you, they could really go far. The projects could really go far. But it just seems like everybody's kind of trying to do their own thing. And nobody is really open to this idea of being advised or, you know, being coached or being mentored. They're not really open to the idea of letting you pass along information to them. And I think this has you kind of in a funk, honestly. It has you feeling like the Lone Ranger because you have all the information, but you can't be the only one using it to have the good results. Other people need to use it too. That's what I'm going to say there. I think it has you in a little bit of a funk. This is probably a big part of why you actually went into hermit mode on Sunday. You were probably trying to figure out, you know, how much more do I want to try to share with these people that aren't trying to listen? Right? And then on Thursday, we have the Five of Pentacles coming up in reverse. Five of Pentacles in reverse just talks about this idea that where things might have seemed lean or tight as far as your budget was concerned, now they're starting to loosen up. So maybe you paid something off, maybe you paid your phone off and you've got that much more in your budget. Or maybe you've paid your mortgage off and you've got that much more in your budget. Or maybe you got a raise or a promotion or even just a bonus. But this is breathing space when it comes to your finances, Virgo. Now, Four of Pentacles. Very interesting card, right? Four of Pentacles. By the way, this deck is called the Mists of Avalon. Although when you look at the box, you can't tell because it's written in Cyrillic alphabet. But so this is really based on Avalon's story. We kind of see, like, you know, the round table from King Arthur's Round Table and Monday's card. You kind of get hints of that all the way through here. So we all know, well, I shouldn't assume that, but with the story of Avalon, part of that story is King Arthur's story. in King Arthur's story was there was this mythical sword that some great warrior who was a leader in the past had used that nobody could find or pick up or pull out of the stone or pull out of the pond. I don't remember exactly. And in this depiction, we see King Arthur, before he's the king, pulling the sword out of the stone. Now, Four of Pentacles talks about stashing something away, and this sword would have been stashed away, unable to be used by anybody, right there in plain sight, probably, for years and years and years, depending which version of the story you hear. In fact, decades. So this talks about stashing something away. So I think you're going to be stashing something away for future use on Friday. The other thing that I want to tell you that comes up for me with this card in this particular reading, this is not going to be true every time. I'm hearing something about creating miracles. So whatever this is that you're stashing away, I get the sense that this is to help. For some of you, this is going to be to help someone else in the future. Like maybe you're stashing something away for one of your children or a niece or a nephew. For others of you, this could even be like I'm making out my will and I'm mentioning all my favorite charities or my family members or whatever. And what you have is fairly significant because it's basically going to be like making a miracle for something whenever they receive that. For others of you, though, I think you're taking something that has been stashed away and you're utilizing it now. And happy to be utilizing it, as a matter of fact. Whatever it is that you're utilizing, whatever was stashed away for, you're happy to be able to have that opportunity to do that. Okay? So that's what we have for the week of Virgos. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me. I will see some of you here this week for readings, but the rest of you I'll see back on the next video. Everyone have a fantastic week. Peace out.